Hello, welcome back everyone. This is the lecture number 4 that we are going to study as a part of video lecture series for heat transfer course. And today we are going to study conduction heat transfer through a rectangular slab. Through a rectangular slab. Before studying conduction heat transfer through a rectangular slab, let us see what is actually a rectangular slab. So for that, let me draw a diagram, simple diagram. This is a vertical line. This is some dimensions, and these are certain other dimensions. This kind of structure is called a slab. This is a rectangular slab. It is having some front area and some cross sectional area also. These are second side of the area. So this kind of slab we will be studying. We will be studying that the heat transfer is taking from left hand side of the left face of the slab to the right face. This is the right face. The hashed portion in the red color is the left face. Hashed portion on the left hand side is the left face, while the hashed portion on the right hand side is the right face. Actually, there are temperature difference between the left and right face. The left face is at the higher temperature, consider it as T1, and right face it as a lower temperature, considering it as T2. Because of the temperature difference, heat transfer will take place from from this phase to this phase, from left phase to right phase, and this is what we are going to study in our class. Moving on further, let us draw a simple rectangular slab. Oh, I'm sorry for that. Let me draw it again. Let's say this is a simple rectangular slab. Okay, this is a slab, and this is set another dimensions of the slab. The thickness of the slab is L. L is the thickness of the slab, and the left and the right face of the slab are at different temperature. This is the left face, and this one is the right face. I will color it. I will hatch it with a different color. This face that is hatched with red color is the left face, and which is colored with green color, it is the right face. So the temperature of the left and the right faces are different. Temperature left face is kept at T1 temperature, and right face is kept at temperature T2. This left face is kept at temperature T1 and right face is kept at temperature T2. T1 here, the T1 temperature is greater than T2. This is what we need to know. Therefore, the heat transfer will take place from left face to right face. Okay, the thermal conductivity of the material. The thermal conductivity of the material of the slab is K, watt per meter Kelvin, and width of the slab is L, that we already know. Before going to study the slab, let us assume certain assumptions. Let us look into certain assumptions that we will be considering while analyzing this problem. The assumption number 1 is the heat transfer takes place in one direction only, that is one dimensional conduction. one dimensional conduction take place. And second is, what is the meaning of one dimensional conduction? The temperature is a function of x only. That means the temperature will vary in this direction. This is the x direction. This is the x direction, and temperature will vary in x direction only. That is the meaning of this assumption. And second assumption is, there is a steady state heat transfer. Steady state. What is the meaning of steady state heat transfer? The temperature will not change with time. Temperature is not a function of time. That is, at a certain point, let's say this is a point A, temperature will not change. Temperature will not change at certain temperature. At any time, at a certain point, temperature will not change. This is the meaning of steady state conduction heat transfer. Okay. For the study purpose, let us say there is a small section of this slab of thickness dx. Let's say thickness of this section is dx, and it is at a distance x from the left hand face. T1 is the temperature at the left face, T2 is the temperature at right face, that we already know. Considering the heat transfer rate in x direction as qx, or we can say it as q. Now, through this small section, the temperature drop will be very small. Let's say dt temperature drop will take place. While if we look into the whole slab, there's a temperature fall of T1 minus T2. T1 minus T2 is the temperature fall. While if we look into this small section, there will be temperature fall of dt, and the width of this section is, we know that, dx. Therefore, for this particular section, temperature gradient will be dt over dx. This is what we need to understand. This is very important thing. The temperature gradient will be dt over dx. Okay, we have now understood that what is a rectangular slab and how the heat transfer is taking place from the left face to right face, and we have assumed a small section of thickness dx, a small strip of thickness dx, through which the heat transfer rate we are studying. Let's say heat transfer that is taking place through this small section is qx. Now, we know that for the conduction heat transfer through through a rectangular slab or any kind of slab or any kind of material, there is a law for heat transfer, that is Fourier law of conduction. So, according to Fourier law of conduction, the heat transfer in any given direction is minus Ka dt over dx, which is applicable to this small strip. K is the thermal conductivity of the material, that we already know that in case of the slab. Now, this is a very simple differential equation which we can easily solve. We can say that q dx we will take on the left hand side, q dx is equals to minus Ka dt. Okay. One thing we need to understand, that during the uh, analysis of slab, when we have seen one thing, that at equals to 0, x is the variation of length. At x equals to 0, that is on the left face, temperature is T1, and at x equals to L, that is on the right face, temperature is T2. Therefore, we can say that this at x equals to 0 and at x equals to L, the temperature conditions are our boundary conditions. So we can say here that boundary conditions are at x equals to 0, temperature is equals to T1, and x equals to L, temperature is equals to T2. This is what is our boundary conditions. Now again move back to this small section, this small derivation. In this derivation, we have to, what we have to do is do the integration on both side. Minus Ka, integrate minus Ka dt. Since q is constant here, q will come out, and this is dx. Similarly, minus k and a both are constant. The material is of uniform thermal conductivity, and area is also constant in the direction of heat transfer. Therefore, this will also come out. Now, looking on to the boundary conditions. What are the boundary conditions of x? X is varying from x equals to 0 to x equals to L. Similarly, the boundary conditions for temperature. Temperature is varying from T1 to T2. Temperature is varying from T1 to. Now, integrating this dx, integration of this dx will be x, and the lower limit is 0, upper limit is L. Similarly, minus Ka, we will write it as it is, and the integration of dt is t, lower limit is T1, upper limit is T2. Solving this, we will get ql minus 0 minus Ka T2 minus T1, which can be rearranged as Ka T1 minus T2. Now q, if you want to calculate, the q will come out as Ka upon L T1 minus T2. This is what is the formula for conduction heat transfer through a rectangular slab. The slab which is having the length L, K is the thermal conductivity of the material, A is the area lying in the direction lying perpendicular to the direction of heat transfer. T1 and T2 are the temperatures on the extreme temperatures of the slab, that is on their left hand face or right hand face, and the T1 minus T2 is called as temperature difference. This is what is the formula for rectangular heat transfer through a rectangular slab. Now move on to the next topic. There is one important topic here, the connected with this rectangular heat transfer through a rectangular slab is electrical analogy. Electrical analogy of heat transfer. This is our new topic, and we can call it a subtopic inside the heat transfer through rectangular slab. If we look into the conduction heat transfer through a rectangular slab, we can see the temperature T1 is on the left hand face, temperature T2 on the right hand face. L is the thickness and K is the thermal conductivity, and heat is flowing from left to right direction, and heat transfer is coming I to be T1 minus T2 L Ka. We can rewrite it as T1 minus T2 divided by bringing the K on the denominator, it will be L divided by Ka. This is how we can write thermal conduction heat transfer through rectangular slab. Now the topic is electrical analogy. That means we are going to see the analogy between the heat transfer and electricity transfer. Let us consider whenever there is electrical transfer, there will be some resistance, there will be some potential difference, there will be some current. So let us say there is a resistance having a circuit having resistance R, and the resistance is connected to two different potentials V1 and V2, and there is difference between V1 and V2. Because of this difference, some current will flow. From our basic understanding of our class 10th physics, we can say that the current is nothing but the rate of flow of charge. Therefore, the rate of flow of charge, the current, can be written as V1 minus V2, that is the potential difference, the potential responsible for the current to flow, divided by the resistance. If we look into now, if we try to find the analogy between the heat transfer to rectangular slab and the current transfer through a resistance, we can see that similar to this current I, there is a heat flow. Current is a flow of charge per unit time. Heat is also heat transfer rate per unit time. Similar to V1 minus V2, there is a potential responsible for heat transfer to take place, that is temperature difference. And similar to resistance, there is certain term L by Ka that is also opposing the heat transfer to take place. Since this L by Ka is coming in the denominator, therefore it will be inverse to it is in inverse relation with the heat transfer rate. Hence, the more this term L by Ka, lesser will be the heat transfer rate. Or this, therefore, we can say this is similar to certain kind of resistance, and this we call this resistance as thermal conduction resistance. Thermal conduction resistance. Okay. Now thermal conduction, if we again try to establish an analogy, we can see that there is a resistance, there is a current, there is V1 potential and V2 potential in electrical circuit. Similar to this, we can develop a thermal circuit where temperature and T1, T2 are the potentials that are responsible for the heat flow, and there is some thermal resistance that is opposing this flow. So the thermal resistance may be written as L by Ka for conduction heat transfer through rectangular slab. Conduction heat transfer through a rectangular slab. This is what we can see. If we want to calculate the current, we can say that V1 minus V2 upon R is formula for calculating the current. Similar to this, if we know the resistance of the thermal circuit, thermal heat transfer is taking, conduction heat transfer is taking place, therefore there is certain kind of thermal circuit. If we know the resistance of thermal circuit, let's say similar in case of rectangular slab, this is L by K. We can also write Q, just analogous to this formula, we can write as heat transfer as temperature difference T1 minus T2 divided by thermal resistance, which is nothing T1 minus T2 upon L by Ka. And we can see that this similar relation we can seen in our analysis. This T1 minus T2, this Ka we will bring in the denominator L by Ka. So with the help of electrical analogy also we can calculate the heat transfer rate through any conduction or convection or radiation heat transfer. This electrical analogy is applicable to conduction and through any kind of any slab, any material, and any type of convection heat transfer as well as any kind of resistance heat transfer. So this concept of electrical analogy is very much universal. Electrical analogy concept can be used to any type of heat transfer. Like conduction, convection and radiation. Now what is the benefit of using this convection heat this sorry, this electrical analogy concept? The main advantage of using this electrical analogy concept is it simplifies our problem. Let's say there are more than one kinds of heat conduction taking place, sorry, heat transfer taking place. Let's say there is a combination of conduction heat transfer through two slabs, and also there is convection heat transfer on the left hand and right hand of the phase, also in between. In that case, this concept will be very useful. Let's say these are two slabs and convection is taking place from here to here. Inside conduction is there, again stack conduction is there, again convection is there. So in this complete combination of many kinds of heat transfer, there is a one concept that will be universal, that the concept of electrical analogy, that is drawing the thermal resistance circuit, and it will very useful, very it will also simplify our analysis. I hope all of you have now understood what is conduction heat transfer through a rectangular slab. Now with the help of this analogy, this electrical analogy, I will explain you how to calculate the conduction heat transfer through composite rectangular slab. This is very important. Conduction heat transfer through composite rectangular slab. I would request every student to be very careful while watching this video and watching this section of the video, because it is going to be very much difficult and very much easy depending upon how sincere you are during this section. Let's say this is a rectangular slab. Let me draw a rectangular slab. Okay, let's say this is a one slab, and attached to it there is another slab. There is another slab. Okay, these are two slabs, and for increasing the complexity, let's say the thickness of left slab is L1, thickness of another slab is L2, thermal conductivity of slab 1 is K1, thermal conductivity of slab 2 is K2. One thing will be common here, that is the area will be same. In between also the area is same. The area that is lying perpendicular to the heat transfer, perpendicular to the direction of heat transfer, that is constant. This is one thing. Now let's say the temperature of the left hand face of the first slab is T1, and temperature of the right face of the last slab is, let's say, T3, and temperature in between it's T2. In that case, temperature will heat transfer will take place from T1 to T2 in the first slab, and the same heat will transfer will take place from T2 to T3 in second slab. The heat transfer will first take place in this first slab, and then this heat will enter into the second slab, and the heat transfer will also take place from T2 to T3 temperature difference. Similar to the previous case, we will again assume we will again make some certain what we say assumptions. First important assumption is steady state conduction heat transfer. Steady state heat transfer, that is temperature is not a function of time. The symbol is from not, for not. And second is one dimensional heat transfer is taking place through composite slab. one dimensional heat transfer through composite slab, that is heat transfer is a function of x only. This is what we mean. Till now we have understood everything. Now we can easily say that this first heat transfer through the first slab, let's say this slab 1, slab 2, heat transfer through first slab is because of temperature difference T1 and T2. So because of this there will be some heat flow Q, and there will be some thermal resistance 1, and from same heat transfer will take place from T2 to T3. Will be therefore there will be some thermal resistance for the second slab, let's say thermal resistance 2. A heat transfer will take place here. Now if we want to calculate the heat transfer through first slab, we can simply write it as T1 minus T2 divided by thermal resistance. And similarly, if we want to calculate the heat transfer through second slab Q2, we can say that it will be T2 minus T3 divided by thermal conduction resistance through 2. And if we see that the heat that is flowing through resistance 1 or slab 1 Q, the same heat will enter here in rectangular slab 2. Therefore these Q1 and Q2 will be equal. Therefore the simply heat transfer can also be considered as the initial and final temperature and complete thermal resistance. Let's say complete equivalent thermal resistance, and this complete thermal resistance will be nothing will be but the addition of thermal resistance 1 plus thermal resistance 2. Now important thing to understand, why addition? Because these two thermal resistance are connected in series connection, and we all know that the resistances connected in series are added. Therefore there is a addition. Hence the net thermal resistance will be R1 plus R thermal 1 plus R thermal 2. Therefore net thermal resistance is thermal resistance of 1 plus thermal resistance of 2. Now this is very easy to calculate. For the first slab, thermal resistance 1 is L1 by K1A, and for the second slab, thermal resistance is L2 by K2A. Therefore heat transfer can be written as T1 minus T3 divided by total thermal resistance, that is L1 by K1A plus L2 by K2A. This is what is the heat transfer taking place in watts. Heat transfer taking place in watts. This heat transfer will also be equal to what? Heat transfer will also be equal to heat transfer that is taking place through first rectangular slab, that is L1 by K1A. Heat transfer through second rectangular slab, that is L2 by K2A. And heat transfer through the complete circuit, T1 minus T3, that is L1 by K1A plus L2 by K2A. Why this is happening? This is because the heat that was flowing through circuit 1 through the slab 1 is actually entering through the slab 2. The heat, this Q1, was entering from slab 1. Similarly, this Q1 is becoming Q2. That means Q1 and Q2 are same. Hence, the same heat is flowing from T1 to T3. Same heat transfer rate is same. That is why we can say that all the heat analysis will be like this. So that's what the end of this lecture. In this lecture we have seen the rectangular slab, how the heat transfer through rectangular slab takes place, and the composite slab, that is a combination of two rectangular slabs, how the heat transfer was taking place. In the next lecture we will study a convection, what is convection thermal resistance, and then we'll start through the combination of conduction convection heat transfer through composite slab. Let's say, that means in a composite slab there is a conduction through the body, and on the left and the right face of the complete composite slab there will be convection. So there it will be a combination of convection and conduction heat transfer in a single case. So that is all for today's lecture. Thank you.